it's Laura with Following the Paper Trail, and today I have a demo that I'm going to do for you today rather than showing you yet another envelope mini. I'm sure you're getting sick of all of those, though I have two more still to show you. And then I think I will have pushed the envelope as far as I'm going to push it for right now and move on to something else. But today I wanted to show you some butterflies that I've been making and some dragonflies. There's a dragonfly. I love dragonflies. Almost as well. Butterflies, dragonflies. They run close together as to which one I like. What I'm going to be using today is a product that's called Lutradur, and I'll show it here on film so that you can just Google Lutradur. This product that I actually have here comes in 8.5 by 11 sheets, and this one's actually made by C&T Publishing, which is my all-time absolute favorite quilting publishing company. And when my book proposal goes in, that's who it's going into. But anyway, Lutradur is something that's been used by mixed media artists and quilt artists for several years now. It is like amazing stuff. Here's a piece of it. It is a spun polyester product. It comes in a couple of different weights. It's like you can't tear it. It's almost indestructible. You can paint it, you can dye it, you can stamp it, you can sew through it, you can just beat the badoobies out of it. You have to be a little bit gentle with it when you're heating because it can melt, but you can also get some really cool effects when it does that as well. But it's super cool product. But it also kind of looks like butterfly wings or dragonfly wings, and that's why I'm using it for this. So what I've done is, first off, I've stamped my image on my Lutradur, and then I'm going to Glimmer Mist it, cut it out, and then actually I cut it out first, and then I'm going to Glimmer Mist it, and then I can do some other stuff. So let me cut this guy out really quick. I probably should have done this before I went on camera, but anyway, the stamp set I'm using here is the Nature series by Tattered Angels. It's got a dragonfly, a butterfly, leaves, owl. This is one of my favorites of theirs, but that probably is because I love so much of the nature-oriented stuff. So anyway, after I've stamped this on, and I stamped this with StazOn ink, because StazOn ink just about stamps on anything. The other thing when you're using the StazOn ink, it's a solvent ink, so it's not going to kind of disappear on you when you use the water-based Glimmer Mist on top of it. I did one that was with a I think it was a pigment ink, and it just kind of disappeared when I used the Glimmer Mist. So got it all cut out. I get my Glimmer Mist box out, and I just have a box, and then I just put some paper towel down in the bottom, just lay that on top. Now you might, if you want to do a different color, this stuff is kind of porous, so you don't want to have it be over another color that might bleed onto it. So I'm using lemongrass. Oh, I love this lemongrass. It's this really cool chartreusey green-ish yellow. Oh, I love it. It's so pretty. And then I'm taking a little bit of turquoise, and I'm just going to spray that more towards the center. I must have a plug in it because it's doing kind of weird stuff. So anyway, lift that up. I'll give it a quick little shot, try to dry it off a little bit before I do anything else to it. But you just want to be real gentle when you're drying it. Don't get too close because it will melt. If I have a second or two here at the end, I'll show you how it melts so you can get some really cool lacy effects when it melts. So sometimes if you lift it up a little, and get it dry. So then a couple of things of what I've done here. With this one, this butterfly, what I did is I then stamped it after I've got it Glimmer Misted and cut out. I stamped it again with some embossing ink, and then I used some opalescent clear embossing powder, and then embossed it, and that's how I got that iridescence on this one. And then I used some stickles and added to it. I used that same embossing powder on the body of this one. And because I want my body to be a little bit different, what I did on this one, I used some copper colored UTEE to give some more body, so to speak, to the body, so it has a little bit more oomph to it. You could also just use regular, I'm sure regular embossing stuff, powder, and do it, and just do a couple layers, but the UTEE just, makes it go faster. So once it's, well, it's kind of dry, and what I do is then I just bend those leaves back, or leaves, the wings back, so then I can kind of dab it in my embossing ink. The other thing you can do is you can use Post-it notes and lay it on each side and stamp it on there. I call those surgical drapes. I said that the other night on the Scrap Beach thing, and everybody was like, what? So let me get a piece of paper. Try to be all organized. I just use a piece of paper to do this with. And then I've got this bronze UTEE. Bend his wings back so he lays flat. This stuff is pretty indestructible. So just take my UTEE. Well, that didn't stick very good. I don't think it was dry. It was part of my problem. Oh, where's Velma when I need her and her UTEE skills? So, anyway. Well, that made a mess. Let's see, and then I'm just going to kind of clean up the edges before I heat it up. And you guys wonder why I get nails. It's not to make my nails look pretty. It's to protect my fingers. I've sewn through my fingers, and so these are actually armor protected because I've sewed through my fingers without them, and let me tell you, it hurts really bad. But when I've sewn through it, when I've got my nails on, it just breaks the nail off in the coating. So anyway, little story you probably really didn't need. So anyway, so heating the UTEE up. Just be real watchful that you're not, okay, there it goes. As soon as it starts to melt, don't hold too long in any one spot. So hopefully you can hear me over this heat gun. And anybody who asks, I do not know who made this heat gun. This is about as old as they come. Let's see, this says Milwaukee on the side. My mom got it for me when I was doing our wedding announcements, 13 years ago now, and I was doing it over the gas stove. She was having heart failure, convinced I was going to burn the house down, so she bought me that. So I've come a long way, baby, since then. All right, so there I've given him, I haven't had my coffee yet, that's why I got the shakes today. Oh, God. Anyway, so there is my Dragonfly, and by putting the bronze colored UTEE on there, it gives him some color. But I could also put some, if I wanted more sparkly, I could put some stickles on him, add some of that. You could also use some of the dewdrop type things on there to give him a little bit more oomph. I could also do a couple coats. I think that's what I ended up, if I remember, that's what I did on this one. I think I did 2 coats, so it has a little bit thicker body. But I actually kind of like it a little bit rough and tough. I was actually thinking of trying some Tim Holtz Distress embossing and see how that looks with that more roughy looking texture. But you could add some stickles onto his wings and, spread them out so you get a little bit sparkle. Or like I did on this one, as I said, I re-stamped it with embossing powder and then used that iridescent stuff that I really am enjoying. So anyway, there is some very pretty little butterflies and dragonflies that you could add to your layouts and mini books. So anyway, it was funny, right before I started this video, I had somebody email me about doing a Ustream. and starting doing some demos on Ustream, and I may switch What's Up Wednesday over to something like that. However, I have no clue how to do Ustream, so if somebody is well versed on how that works and wants to send me an email at quiltedbaglady@aol.com and talk me through the process, I would really strongly consider it. I am so not technical though, so somebody would really have to walk me through. But anyway, there's What's Up Wednesday. Have fun making a bunch of butterflies and dragonflies, and we'll see you soon. Thanks a bunch.